Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the usually serviceable, hopelessly miscast podcast here at GCT. I am Paul, here as always, much to your chagrin. Today we have Brian as normal.
Yep.
And he's the ED. Take those initials for whatever you want.
Executive
here at GCT.
Director.
Now, it could be other things.
Nope.
And today, in Christina's place, to serve as our moral compass pointing south instead of north, we have our friend of the podcast, Robin.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
It's an honor and a privilege.
It's
like
an
winning
honor.
an award.
An honor and a privilege.
How many podcasts have you done before?
I actually just recorded a leadership podcast.
Oh, this is going to be way different.
Sounds very boring.
So
way different.
But I do want you to know, since you introduced me as the moral compass, that my entire podcast was on the foundation of character and having
Oh, we're in good hands then.
character.
Yeah.
Better hands than normal.
Eat your heart out, Christina.
Yeah.
And we have Leah in the background. She's like pretending to work. She's probably looking at Pornhub over there or something.
She gave
Yeah,
you a dirty look.
She totally, blew me off. Like most people do, but that's okay. So, we have come out of Rocktober. We did a bunch of horror movie reviews. Some of Brian's now favorite movies. We didn't do the one he now labels one of his favorites.
That's true.
What?
We didn't do Mausoleum.
Big Trouble in Little China?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's only horror movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
well, there's some FX makeup in that movie.
Is there?
That,
Okay.
There is, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't rate that in what we were doing. We did, to recap, for those of you not listening, we did a movie on Netflix called Little Evil, which was little
Bad.
with a really bad water park scene.
Bad.
Then we also did Chopping Mall. I'm doing these out of order, I
Good.
think.
Yeah.
Chopping Mall was good, even though it didn't get very high on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
What was the other one we did in the middle?
Did we do 5 or 4?
Yeah, we did 5.
well, I remember I came in during the viewing of one of them.
Yeah, I think we were watching Chopping Mall
Is Nightmare on
And
Elm
it had
Street.
the
We did
lady
Nightmare on Elm
from
Street.
Wings.
from Wings.
Halloween.
But Halloween, we did Halloween.
What was his name?
Oh, The Lost Boys.
Oh, The Lost Boys. Yeah.
Yeah, which Brian
Boo.
panned.
That was terrible.
Like, you know what? You can go jump off the bridge they're all hanging from,
Yeah,
as
whatever.
far as I'm concerned.
Terrible
So-
scene.
Just, okay. I'm turning his mic off. So what we normally do that we're back to is we try to dissect a classic Broadway show or musical, but since Christina told me that I'm not allowed to do that without her here,
Okay, that's fine.
so next time you can come and she'll be here and we'll actually do one. But what I did do is, what I do is found from, I'll credit the website, was cheatsheet.com. And there, I'm not going to read the whole link. But basically I decided, let's have a little bracketology.
Oh.
And they had a list of the 15 most popular Broadway musicals of all time, according to them.
Okay.
I added number 16. Brian, you'll know that I did. So I'm going to throw out for you guys the matchups one at a time, and we'll get down to the ultimate winner
Okay.
of what you think. You can give as much or as little elaboration as you want on why you think it's better than its matchup. And remember, just like March Madness, when it actually happens, sometimes it's not about that you're the best team. It's about the matchup you get. So
Okay.
upsets can happen, and I expect some in here. So I'll break the tie if you guys end up tying on one.
Yes, you can be vice president
Absolutely.
of the Senate.
So-
Yes.
Just elected, thanks
Just-
to Georgia. So our 1 versus 16 matchup. I'm going to find some music for this, so cue music.
Okay.
This is the number 1 seed, and I didn't. The only one I threw in was number
Free
16.
Again by Frank Promato?
No, that's
Oh.
a song.
Okay.
So I would not have ranked these this way.
Okay.
Number 1 is The Lion King.
I figured. I know. I was like, one of these is going to be
Oh, it was going to be in there.
Disney. Yeah.
It's most popular, so it's, best. No, it's not in my top 16. Versus number 16, which is Phantom of the Country Opera. So, which you haven't seen probably.
No.
I know
No.
Brian has. But
No,
we've
I've
seen
not seen
enough.
all of it.
Let's say we've seen enough. So,
Oh, I hate Christina's not here.
but this is the
talk about her favorite
116 matchup.
Does she like Phantom? I hate it.
Oh, Phantom of the Country Opera is a
Phantom of the
whole other
Country
thing.
Opera.
Oh, okay.
This was. Why don't you describe it?
So Phantom of the Country Opera is what if the Phantom actually lived in the Grand Ole Opry and features lots of line dancing and country music instead of the traditional Phantom.
Oh, I could get behind
And
that.
lots of
Oh, it's
bad
no,
lines.
no.
You can't.
You can't. If
Well-
you watched or heard any of it, you would not be behind it at all.
No, it's not even enjoyable from an irony and.
No, it is not.
No, okay.
We'll show you clips later.
Yeah, I'm excited now.
It's not good. Not good.
It's like, this tastes terrible. Here, have a drink.
Yes, pretty much. Except if you did that to the same person 50 times in a row. So, all right, who wins that matchup?
So what was it? Lion King and the Phantom of the Country Opera?
Yes.
I think the Lion King.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to be ironic and say Phantom of the Country Opera.
Ow. Come on.
Break that tie, Senator.
I'm going to say the Lion King.
Boo.
Just because we can't have the one lose to a 16 in the first round.
Why not?
So-
not Kansas. Virginia did a couple years ago.
Well, that is true, but we're not going to do that here.
Okay.
So the 8-9 matchup. This is the musical that will get the privilege of playing versus the Lion King in round 2.
Okay.
And I don't know if I can break the tie with this one because I don't like either one of them.
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast versus Les Mis.
Les Mis. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
That was
Les
quick.
Mis.
Yeah.
Les Mis.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to break a tie there.
Do we get to
Easily.
share stories about these?
You
or
can.
No.
That's-
So,
Do you have a good Les Mis story?
yeah.
It makes the leadership podcast
So
more
I have
interesting.
seen Les Miserables
Les
once.
Miserables, yes.
Once, and I will only see it once.
That's a good thing.
Growing up in a small town, didn't get a chance to see, Broadway cast do a lot.
Yeah.
And for my birthday in 1991, Les Mis.
So your 7th birthday, I'm sure.
That's correct. The show came through Little Rock, and my dad bought me and him a ticket to go see Les Mis at Joe T. Robinson Auditorium, and
Sounds like a place that a gun show was held the next day.
something like
A
that.
gun and RV show the
And-
next day.
And it was on my birthday, and my dad and I were not known for being quiet, and he and I were mesmerized.
That's a shocker.
Mesmerized, and it was just a special memory. I haven't seen the movies. I won't watch any of that stuff. I don't ever want to see it ever again because forever that theater is me and my dad.
Oh, that's a great memory.
what a
I still have the
sweet
ticket
story.
stub.
Oh.
I mean, we're not usually into sweet stories here, so
That is good.
that's good. The moral compass role, you've already filled it.
I
very
bring
well.
the empathy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
yep. Now how can we vote against it the rest of the time?
well, yeah, it's way to plant that seed.
Yeah.
So she looks
It's
like
like
she's
if we
busy
vote
at
against
work
it now,
all of a
it's like
sudden.
voting against her and her dad's relationship.
Yeah, pretty much.
you know.
Invalidating the whole thing.
Yeah.
So next is the 5-12 matchup. This is typically an upset matchup in the tournament.
Okay.
Number 5 seed Chicago versus number 12 seed Aladdin.
Oh, good Lord, Chicago.
So this is funny. I watched both of these shows on Broadway the same trip. If I had to watch one of them over again, it would be Aladdin.
Wow.
Aladdin.
I thought you were going for Chicago.
The musical is much better than it has any right to be. It is
I'll agree with
the
that.
Are you sure it's not the bare midriff? I mean,
no. It's
I
the
did see one with some hot chicks in it.
the music. Well, the
Chicago's got hot chicks.
Jasmine in this was quite attractive, but I mean, no, the music and the dancing in Aladdin is frankly stunning, and the genie role just really, I think, elevates it above any other Disney play that's ever Disney movie that's been made into a musical. I'd say it's tops, even though I'm sure Beauty and the Beast and clearly The Lion King and Frozen will probably outgross it. Aladdin is the much better show overall.
well, I believe you. I believe you. Yeah.
But again, also, I mean, it was much newer than Chicago, and Chicago's been up on Broadway how long? A really long time.
Long time.
It just felt
Well,
like
and with
it felt
Chicago,
old,
right? And with Chicago, you don't ever want to violate at least some Fosse-esque
Yeah.
dance, right? You don't want to redo the choreography like you're saying in Aladdin. you could have even what you watched be super creative. No one's going to go in and redo and not have at least 5 sets of jazz hands
Right.
in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's much more prone to people walking out and going, well, that's not the one I remember.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So if you change one thing, that planting the seed for the future. So yeah, I'm as for all my disdain of Disney, I'm going to go with Aladdin.
Hey.
That's fine.
Just because
Uh-oh, she's angry.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
I'm not as big on Chicago.
No. Brian made a fair argument, and I'm good with that.
I mean, he doesn't hold any particular sway over how
No.
much airtime you get on this, so
No.
you don't have to, kiss his butt or anything like that.
There's never a reason to kiss my butt.
You got that right.
It will do nothing for anyone except me? I don't know.
So moving on from that, I can't wait to see your reaction on this one.
Oh, boy.
The 4 versus 13 matchup.
Cats must be involved. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
No, okay. Number 4.
I'm going to say number 13 is Mary Poppins.
Okay.
Number 4 is that Doonesbury classic, Mamma Mia.
I don't like either one.
I don't either.
But
But there's one I hate less.
But it will be Mary Poppins. So
How about you? Man, this feels like another upset here.
I mean, so here's the deal. Theater for me is all about emotional connection.
Yeah.
And
I'll go ahead and start writing it in now.
right. So the emotional connection I have with Mamma Mia is I love ABBA. But I also have never gone to a professional Broadway staging of Mamma Mia or seen the movie with Meryl Streep and not laughed because of the absolute absurdity
There is that.
of it, and hearing Pierce Brosnan sing like a water buffalo.
Don't remind me.
So,
Little SOS.
yes, how can I even try? Yeah. So, Mary Poppins.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I would have had to break that tie with Mary Poppins.
I'll go Mary.
So 12 versus 13 now in the next one because those were both upsets. So now we move on to the 3-14 matchup.
okay.
Not typically an upset, but
Sometimes. Not
possibly. Yeah, Kansas always loses the number 3 slot too. They lose everywhere in the bracket, unless they play Memphis. So number 3 versus 14. This is Phantom of the Real Opera versus the Producers.
Producers.
Phantom of the Opera.
Why?
Good, I get to break the tie.
So much as Les Mis has an emotional connection to you, the first true Broadway musical I saw at the Orpheum was Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
After having not grown up, from having bought the double disc CD soundtrack at age 15 and playing in my car constantly until I was 19. When it finally came to the Orpheum, it will always hold a soft spot for me.
He has a little Michael Crawford crush, apparently.
I can totally.
Or Sarah Brightman, maybe?
That too.
Yeah.
Sarah Brightman, and here's the deal.
Married
I
to
get
Lloyd
that,
Webber
and I'm
for a
so
while.
glad you have an emotional connection to it because my antithesis to that is I am a mezzo soprano, which there is absolutely no role for in Phantom of the Opera. So every time
Nor
I would
any
Any Lloyd
Android
Webber.
Lloyd.
no,
Webber.
because of Sarah Brightman.
Yeah.
It was all so. Anytime I listened to it and I tried to sing it, I sounded a lot like Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia.
There comes the water buffalo.
So here comes the water buffalo again. So that's why that probably is there with me. But dang, that's a tough choice a little bit.
So what's your ultimate selection?
What was the other one?
The Producers.
I mean, does part of it is the producers eventually, the PC police are going to come after us all and we'll never be able to do Producers ever again?
True.
And yet we will always be able to do Phantom of the Opera about a man that, stalks a woman.
I mean, the PC police have come after Phantom a bit.
No.
Well, if you had checked one of our earlier podcasts, we did a whole takedown of the show, and it's somewhat questionable themes.
Yeah, Christina eviscerated it. So,
Yeah. And Love Never Dies is even worse. But
Oh,
yeah,
I gave
that's
those
not in the
tickets
bracket.
away
Yeah.
for the Orpheum.
I'm gonna say Phantom too, but we didn't need to break the tie. But yeah, Phantom has an emotional connection for me because I love some of the music in it, despite the themes.
Past the Point of No Return is a wonderful song.
Yes, that's
Love
my
that
favorite.
song.
Getting to perform, music of the night in a solo setting was great too.
Do you have a high baritone like that?
Yeah, he's a tenor.
I can hit that, but I'm a tenor usually.
You're a tenor.
Yeah.
What
That's
did they
me.
consider Michael? Who was the
Crawford?
guy? Yeah,
I mean, he's a
It's
tenor.
like a tenor too.
a tenor too can cross into that baritone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because I can sing anything bass
Color.
1 all the way up to tenor 1. I don't think he could get all the way into like tenor 1 or counter tenor, but
Yeah.
I mean, he
I bet he could get to tenor 1.
probably.
Yeah. But not counter tenor. Counter tenor is just a
I mean,
weird thing for a man to
The
do.
revival that they did a few years ago with Phantom,
Strange.
It's the
when they
meat and
did the
bread.
actual Phantom song, the lead was a tenor
It's
1.
bread and bread. There's
It's
no
bread,
meat there.
bread.
The way he's belting it, is different than Crawford, and I can tell he's a tenor 1. I don't remember his name, but yeah, he was more, and he was a different style of voice for that part. But we do know through research that they pre-record that song every time they do Phantom now, and they never sing that song live, the actual theme song. So it's
What?
always pre-recorded.
Which one?
Which
Phantom,
one?
the theme, the main title. It's pre-recorded,
Really?
and they're always lip syncing it.
I had no idea.
So that's what I've been told. Could be wrong, but
Wonder why?
Donald Trump told me. So
Yeah, it's
I
fake
believe
news.
it.
Hashtag.
Just kidding.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
No politics.
I didn't bring politics. I said he
politics.
told me.
Okay.
So anyway, moving on. The 6-11 matchup.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't like either one of these. Number 6, Jersey Boys.
Lit.
Why, I don't know. Number 11, Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Jersey Boys, because I hate rap.
So we're gonna have to go a little deeper
Okay.
on this, Brian.
Sure.
Both of those. What's interesting about how those came out in the brackets is it's two popular types of music that were used to force the story.
I thought you were about to bust into Wicked there.
No.
With your long, popular.
No.
Oh, where's Wicked in this?
It's got to be coming up.
Don't worry.
That'd be the 2 seed, right?
But yeah, it's got to be coming up.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, Jersey Boys is all about that. What was that? Late 60s, early 70s?
I don't know. Before that, we're talking like 50s.
Yeah, that's 50s.
It was so it's 50s.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I remember listening to it. Again, is that tenor 1?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I can't
Frankie's
even
part
sing
is
in it.
counter.
Yeah.
He's a counter tenor. I mean, because a lot of those notes that they're getting high up, you got to find the right person because you can't falsetto some of those notes. He's got to actually full on diaphragm some of those notes. There's not many guys who can sing those.
I can do that. Yeah, I cannot. And I'd like to reiterate, I am female. But and then Hamilton. That's what Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's the comfort zone with rap. So or
Yeah,
hip
you don't
hop.
really need to be able to sing much in that.
But
show.
I will tell you, I learned so much more about the inner negotiations and inner workings of our country because of that musical.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I mean, it's got a good beat. I guess so does Jersey Boys. That is really, 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 really hard one.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Since I'm going to break the tie, I'm going to go Jersey Boys
Ass.
because
Yay.
I saw Hamilton. I've not seen it on Broadway. I did not see Miranda's version until after, but I saw it here locally at the Orpheum when it came through. I extracted the fact that I did not like the guy who played the lead. I like the guy who played Aaron Burr better.
But that's the way it's supposed to be because you've got to have some sympathy for that.
Well, sure, but I
Ant-
was not when I extracted that. I was not
Antagonist, yeah.
impressed with that show. Maybe it was the build-up.
But if you look at it, Leslie Odom Jr., who also played Aaron Burr, has got the more chop.
He does.
more chops than
Clearly.
Lin-Manuel.
So the 7-10 matchup, this is always prone to upsets, but I'm not feeling it this time because even if I have to break a tie, I know where he's going. Number 7 is the Book of Mormon versus number 10, Cats.
Oh,
Book of Mormon.
Book of
Yeah,
Mormon.
let's just move quickly
Yeah.
through that one. Because I will say, since you weren't here for it, as we did our last couple of podcasts for Halloween, Brian said we had to put the movie Cats on the TV.
Yeah, we did.
So it was playing.
It
Was that a
throughout.
horror film?
It was the
That you
It is a horror-
scariest
it's a scary
horror movie we
that's
watched
for
the
sure.
entire month.
Scared the crap out of me, I'll tell you that.
So many questions. So many questions.
Questions that I don't want to have answered. Because I don't want it to lead to further discussion. So the 2 versus 15. This is number 2 is Wicked.
Wicked. And what's 15?
Miss Saigon.
Miss Saigon.
Wicked.
So, come on.
She's gonna differ with you again.
So, okay. Miss
so-
Saigon is Madame Butterfly, right?
Yeah, it's the white savior type stuff that bothers
White
me.
Knight
most.
type syndrome.
Yeah.
There was no white savior in Miss Saigon.
Isn't that what the show is?
Well, so I saw it on Broadway in 1993.
19.
Yeah, 1993.
Well, how could you remember it from when you were 6?
That's adorable. And we
No, she was 5, man. Come on.
my god
How could you
Great-
remember it
she's
from
got a
inside
great
your
memory.
mother's stomach?
my godbrother is actually Mr. Mistopheles on Broadway then. And so he was a dancer. And so went in to see him. And he was like, hey, let's get tickets. I want to go see Miss Saigon. So we went to the TK whatever
Yes,
booth. Even though he was on Broadway, you still had to do that back then.
Wow.
And we
No
got
respect.
seats up under. It was considered "quote unquote" orchestra, but it was up under the overhang of the balcony, so you couldn't see the helicopter land
wow.
or anything like that. So the special effects.
Get
But
to the chopper.
I guess what I brought away from that was not White Savior. What I brought away from Miss Saigon was the Don Tui, the Dust of Life, Conceived in Hell and Born in Strife, about the children that were stranded there, and that's what I remember. Now, if I go back and read it
Like
now,
the Pearl Buck stuff.
yeah.
Children Born in Dust.
Well, the
All the
song
Vietnam
Don
babies
Tui,
from-
yes,
yeah.
So what I took away was that this strong empathy, and then Sun Yi, whoever she was, the
I don't
amazing
remember.
actress that
It's
plays
been a
that
long
role.
time since I've seen it.
But what I took away at 19, that's how old I was then.
9? What?
Yeah,
Wasn't
that's what
6,
I took
Brian was
away
9.
from that.
It's
And
9, okay.
and with Wicked, I'm going to be
19.
so blatantly honest. I've never watched it live and not fallen asleep.
So wait, you were 19 when you saw it in 1993. So what
Wasn't
year were you
I?
born?
Hang on. It was the
73 or 74 or 75?
It was the spring of my freshman year in college. I was born in 74. It was the spring of my freshman year in college. It was
What
the spring
month were you
break.
born in 74?
September.
Okay, you're older than I am. So
Well, fuck off.
by 2 or 3 months.
Are we
Wow.
allowed to say that
There's
right
a
now?
bleep.
There's a beep. Yeah.
This is PG-13.
Oh,
But
my
hey,
bad.
did you know for PG-13, I found out in movies that you can say that up to 3 times and beyond that, and you can't use it as I'm gonna go blank that person. It has to be like expletive form, like F off or whatever, and then it becomes an R if you say it more than 3 times. So
I've got that, and I apologize.
That's okay.
I had a
I'll bleep around it, not on
emotional response to your fast
it.
math.
That's
and-
okay. So
and the
he
A.
chose
If-
Wicked.
If I can just read a statement about
Oh, no.
the show. So the Overture Center for the Arts was hosting a touring production of Miss Saigon in April 2019 and had a panel discussion to showcase Asian American perspectives. Because of the panel, they postponed the show because of,
It romanticized it.
and this is a quote from Nancy View of Freedom Inc. Shame on Overture Center of the Arts for making a profit off the bodies of Asian bodies and Asian lives. And if you are a white woman, you should be outraged because this play pits white women against Asian women. You should be outraged that it does that because we ought to be working together.
So it's fine to understand other people's perspectives. When I saw the show,
Yeah.
I was whatever 18 or 19, and I didn't see woman against woman. So is that why we don't do chess anymore? Because it's an affair and a woman against a woman.
Could be.
Yeah.
You know, so part of it is, again, coming back to probably a bit much longer
Which-
conversation.
I'm in the minority. I like chess.
Chess is one of my absolute favorite
And I
musicals
love the music
ever.
from chess.
The music is, which is hilarious because it comes back around to ABBA. You know, it was written by Benny and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So I think it's great to get perspectives like that because I mean I haven't ever considered. It's not like you see Miss Saigon being performed everywhere anymore, right?
Well, I mean, it was always going to limit itself because of the technical requirements.
The helicopter that I didn't see,
Yeah.
it was probably $50 of the $75 ticket back then.
yeah,
pretty much.
You didn't pay the extra $5 upcharge to sit where you could see the chopper.
That's right.
So
I
I'm
mean,
going to go
there's
ahead.
no danger of us doing it here. So
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you can go with.
I'm going to go with Wicked.
That's fine.
So
we could land like a RC helicopter on stage. Does that have the same
sure.
effect?
Yeah.
You could do it with the screen
They don't
and
know
have
about
the
that yet.
fence. I'm making it something up.
Okay.
Can we just
But
have the sound
if
and
we
have
had
one
a
pull up in the
screen.
parking lot?
Yeah. But
Wow.
Theoretically, if there was a
Theoretically.
screen,
Like an LED screen?
like an LED screen,
something.
Okay.
you could.
But isn't
yeah.
the other thing though with Wicked, where it ranks, is it did usher in the Gen Ys and some of the millennials into the love of the musical.
Yeah.
And Gregory Maguire's writing about how all these antagonists, whether it's Wicked about the Wicked of the West, whether it's about the evil queen and all that jazz, it's such an interesting flip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. You're getting deeper than we normally get. We normally just, we're just.
Well, it's fun to have her here.
Yeah, it
today.
is good to have you here.
Yeah.
Very encyclopedic compared to what we normally do.
Yeah.
Oh,
And now
am I
Christina-
bringing it
tell
down?
Christina.
Christina may be
Christina has a
replaced
degree in this
forever.
stuff.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, she does too.
I
She's
have a degree in it.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying Christina always talks about her degree.
That's true.
That's right. You're bragging about your degree, Christina.
Yeah.
She said when she did the thing we're going to show you after the end of War of the Worlds, she's like, "This is what I'm doing with my degree. So, suck it,
Yeah, it's true.
bees." I don't want to bleep that. So,
Okay.
No, got it.
so I wasn't making a crack at you. It was more
No.
crack at her. So,
No, but I also, I mean, I go to the emotional side. That's just who I am.
sure.
Yeah. Some people are like, let's do Miss Saigon because it would be so fun to try to figure out the helicopter, right?
Sure.
And then you just tapped into another emotional piece, which is, hey, some people may read that wrong,
Yeah.
and it exclude versus include people into that. But yeah, carry on.
Makes sense. No, I hear you.
I'll go to more sophomoric level humor in my next response.
How about freshman level of humor? You can get down that level. So now we're into what I'll call the quarterfinals.
Okay.
So now it's 1 versus 9, Lion King versus Les Mis. Who you got?
I'm still going with Les Mis. I can't not.
One day more. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't
Good.
like Lion King.
I would have said Les Mis too.
And
So
there
the
is
9
a part
upsets
for
the
both a
1.
soprano and an alto.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whoever Les Mis plays in the semis is going to be Les Mis will be wearing their home jerseys because it's the 12 versus 13.
Oh, okay.
So Aladdin versus Mary Poppins. This is the poo-poo platter of quarterfinal matchups in my mind.
I don't know.
I think it is.
I just really like Aladdin a lot. So
I'm going to go with Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah.
So we'll take Aladdin.
Arabian Nights, live on, brother.
Like I said, there are some hot chicks in that show.
it's the bear.
and hot
movie.
You can't
dudes.
discount that.
Hot
well,
dudes.
I wasn't looking, but
The dudes,
I believe it.
Dudes don't wear shirts most of the time, so
Yeah.
some eye candy for anyone
devoid
that's
of
into
a
that.
shirt. So
Yeah.
Robin likes that. She likes dudes with no
Leah
shirt.
is
that post
nodding
on social
vigorously
media.
behind you about the hot dudes.
Oh
comment.
my God.
Leah contributes.
She's like, I like hot dudes. Yeah.
She's got my back. She's got my back.
Yeah.
That's right.
We know you like social media dudes with no shirts.
Oh, that's
So-
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The
It's a whole nother
3-6
podcast.
matchup.
It
Phantom versus Jersey Boys.
I think it's got to be Phantom for me.
Purely for creativity alone. I mean, everything in that was original.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I mean,
it
I
ushered
mean,
in
the
a new.
story was a book.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it ushered in. So like you've got your Rodgers and Hammerstein type shows, and then you kind of Lloyd Webber, and then kind of
The rock opera.
he evolved. musical theater.
Absolutely.
So
Yes,
and then the next
Jersey-
evolution would be like Wicked, like he was saying. So,
Right. And Jersey Boys was here's a great music book. Let's try to plot around it.
Yeah, it's a jukebox musical, basically.
Right. Right.
yes, very much so. So Book of Mormon versus Wicked.
I used to really like Book of Mormon, but the last time I saw it, I was like, I'm maybe grown beyond it, so I'm gonna have to go with Wicked.
Well, do you think that the Book of Mormon is stale for us now because there's no shock and awe anymore? And we've seen it once. You laugh at the, oh my God, did they just say that to God? First of all,
Yeah.
Yes.
and,
Or put on a play about.
and it could have been educational for you. I didn't know a whole lot about LDS and that, and so there was that. And now it's just kind of like, you know what? Those are those people's beliefs. Leave them alone. I can't wait till the Nexium musical gets written, but
That should be good.
by the South Park Boys.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with Wicked.
Okay. I would have too. It would have been close. And I'm not huge on Wicked, but yeah, I mean, Book of Mormon, it had its time. I think more people if you go 20 years in the future, more people are still going to know Wicked, and Book of Mormon would be like, oh yeah, that was funny. And that'd be kind of it.
I mean, a lot of the humor is, came through a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dated then. I
Yeah.
remember walking out thinking, wow, this did not age well from the last time.
Well,
Yeah.
and I remember thinking, do we need the racial stereotypes?
Yeah.
I get satire. I love it. I think the South Park guys are always on the cutting edge.
They are.
But I was like, you know what? But it's cheap to mount.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Well, with them, we'll always have that South Park episode about Broadway musicals.
Oh, yes.
So
One
then
of my
that's
favorites.
enough for me.
Okay.
I will say Lloyd Webber he's happy because he's multiple representation in the semifinals here. So
Ooh,
it's
wow.
Les Mis versus Aladdin. This is a 9 versus 12 matchup.
Oh, my goodness.
The Cinderella versus the Cinderella,
This
and
is-
not the show.
How did we get here? It's all about
I
the
don't
matchup,
know.
right? It's the matchup.
Yes,
Ooh. Oh, man.
I think somebody gets trounced in this matchup, but
So I'm going to go with Les Mis. I've talked about the emotional connection,
Yeah.
but now I'm going to go with the pragmatic approach, which
Okay.
is you can always mount Les Mis. The biggest thing you got to
Okay.
do is build a barricade.
and
Yeah.
a big boat.
We've
Yeah.
had this conversation. We could do Les Mis here
Yeah,
because all you need is a barricade.
All you
pretty
need is a
much.
barricade.
Yeah. So here's my struggle with this.
Okay.
I think categorically Les Mis is the better show. Which show entertains me more, and which show would I go see again? It would obviously be Aladdin for me.
When you saw Aladdin on Broadway, how long was the runtime? You remember?
About 2 hours, maybe
Okay.
2:15, something like that.
Good,
What's
I
Les
break
Mis,
the
like
tie.
4.5.
It's like 3.5.
It's like past even 1776 Theater Memphis length. Just for that alone, I'm breaking the tie with Aladdin. So
Well, I haven't voted for
you
Aladdin.
said
because-
Aladdin, didn't you?
No, I said
He was talking about
Oh,
how he
damn it.
feels.
I said
which
which
Say Aladdin.
So categorically, Les Mis is better. But as far as if I had to go see one again, it would be Aladdin. But I think I have to go categorically and say Les Mis.
Ah, you two suck. Okay. That means we have to sit through Les Mis. Okay, so
I'm not saying that we want to do it, but we could. I
We
mean,
could do it, yeah.
the thing is, every high school does it now, you know?
Yeah.
And what crazy is every high school wants to do Hamilton, too. And I'm like, that is going to be crap.
yeah,
I'll be
there's
interested.
several shows high schools
Here's-
always do that are crap.
I will be interested to see what the casting restrictions as far as race is when that rights become available, which it's not going to be available in the next decade, most likely. But
Why do you think there's racial restrictions to the casting? I understand that on the professional because
I
of,
think I would put it as there are racial requirements in the casting. Certain people cannot be cast unless they are of the proper racial makeup. If you don't, it's totally a different story. part of the whole theme of the
You
story.
lose a layer. You lose a layer.
You
or
lose a
two.
lot. I mean, it's meant to be about that, about layering of races.
Because there will be a lot of high schools that would love to put on an all-white production of Hamilton, and I just can't see.
Can we,
The
in a
rights
future
holder-
podcast, talk about
About Hamilton?
how I grew up and they tried to do Showboat
Oh no.
with zero
Well,
diversity?
I will tell you.
Well, we can. That can be your segment.
Yes.
Because normally we have racist or sexist casting calls, so we can talk about your
Yeah.
racist casting call from Showboat.
Well, don't fret though, because there are still probably, I'm going to say in air quotes, probably local theaters within, I'll say, an hour's drive of here that are still casting in a insensitive racial way with certain shows.
Yes.
I won't say
Yeah.
which ones, but there might be an example out there.
Recent example.
Yes,
How do you
that's
feel
being
about the
promoted
Lion
on social
King?
media.
But how do you feel about casting them from a Lion King
I
standpoint?
don't know. They're all puppets. I wouldn't feel.
Right, but when it was on Broadway,
They were very sensitive to that.
it was very, very sensitive that you only cast people of color or, African Americans.
I mean,
Because I knew a bunch of dancers on Broadway then, and they were like, they happened to be white. And They're
Right.
like, we can't get a job. God, we all love to be in Lion King, but we can't because of color of our skin. So I don't know if that's still
it's complicated.
yeah.
I mean,
prominent.
I don't think. I mean, with The Lion King, obviously is a specific example.
That's an example.
But a show
right?
like The Lion King, I mean, for one, I don't see places mounting that show successfully unless you are of a huge caliber theater, at least
from
the
the
biggest
technical
theater of a
and
major
the
city.
effects and the costuming.
That a lot of things.
I can't see anyone in Memphis ever doing that, assuming rights ever become
That
available.
said, I will also say, even in a racially diverse market like Memphis is, I wouldn't want to see somebody try to put it on. And it wouldn't just be because of race. It'd be because the technical elements alone, to me, would just come across as half-ass. But the casting,
yeah.
I fear that there would be a director or a production staff that would cast it and not pay attention to that at all. I mean, there are certain ways that I think you can cast certain shows that they were traditionally meant for, certain people of certain races or genders, that you can get away with some fudging of things. I feel like
Right.
that's one of them, that there are certain parts of it that you can't.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So-
And I mean, well, that's the beauty of art, right? Is sometimes you interpret, and you interpret it differently based upon who you are. But then when you try to make a business out of it, and you have to think about how everyone might respond, it's a little bit different.
True. Exactly. So the other semifinal matchup pits Phantom against Wicked. This is a couple of shows that are big deals still.
Different eras, the biggest shows of their era of musical.
Yeah, I think this is the heavyweight matchup. This is a 2 versus 3.
This is the X versus the Y,
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah, very true.
and we're X's.
Okay. You want to go with
Phantom.
X's? Phantom.
I'd take Phantom. So,
Wow.
Lloyd Webber just cracked the champagne bottle open and said, Les Mis versus Phantom in the finals.
Oh, well, he didn't do Les Mis.
Yeah, he's not.
I know. I'm just
I was
saying.
like, that's Cameron
It's his
Diamond.
kind of show, I think.
It's Gen X versus Gen X,
Yeah,
too.
that's right.
Yeah.
What's so funny?
Shows how old we are.
You're probably gonna have to break the tie on this.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna stay with Les Mis, and it's not because of just my
You're not going to tell your
emotional
dad's story
connection.
again, are you? That'll make us all cry.
No, I'm not gonna do that again. But because I could have a part in Les Mis. Now
Hey,
it'd be
that's
the
okay.
person going, "Lovely ladies," and doing that versus any of the others.
You can be Lady Thenardier.
Yeah.
Nice. I always thought it'd be fun to be Thenardier in that show.
Oh. Then yes, we shall mount it here.
Yes. Maybe we'll have an LED screen at some point to do it with.
Yeah.
Brian, what say ye?
I am going to go solely based off of the troublesome themes in Phantom. I'm going to go with Les Mis.
So I don't have to break the tie.
No.
What would you have gone with?
Phantom,
Of course you would.
because I love that show. I don't love the themes, but I still love the just the whole orchestral nature and the grand nature of it.
Right.
I do
mean,
have trouble with the themes, but
but if you take the theme from "Aren't we all scarred and want someone and want to punch above our list sometimes?" You
Sure.
know.
I think if you take that out, I take
I guess
Phantom.
it's punch above our weight. I never get those
Well,
expressions
Les Mis is
right.
kinda- I
especially
understand
in
what you're
pop
saying.
Right, yeah.
sports.
Yeah, I mean, Les Mis is. My mom would probably stab me in the eyeball, but I mean, Les Mis to me gets boring. It gets really boring.
It could. Yeah, I see that.
So Phantom gets boring at times, but not as much. So anyway,
Okay.
so that was our unscientific bracket. So now we move on to the next feature. This is a regular feature. This is my crazy theater story of the day, which is courtesy of our friends at notalwaysright.com. So this story is called Making a Show Out of Working There, from a theater in Washington, D.C. So the writer says, "It's a small staff and my boss and coworkers are almost all out of the office. So even though I'm relatively new to the working world, I'm the most senior employee at the moment. A young man huffs and puffs into my doorway and approaches my desk. Not the big bad wolf, I guess. Customer, rolling his eyes. Your box office seller is new. Ugh. He didn't recognize me and I need to get my employee discount for tickets for upcoming performance. I say he's not new and I don't recognize you either. Customer says, how dare you? I'm an usher. Since I work in the back office, I suppose that this guy's on the roster to work an occasional shift and I just haven't met him yet. So I say, we don't actually have an employee discount at the box office. You either work the show or... Customer scoffs and says, well then, put me on the schedule to work the show. I say, the house manager manages the usher schedule, not the marketing department. Customer says, this is ridiculous. I can't believe you won't help me. Let me talk to former executive director. My eyebrow shoots up. I say, sir, she resigned 3 years ago. You say you're a current employee? Customer says, I guess it's been a little while since I worked the show. 3 years, really? I say, yep. So, the next time somebody comes in looking for former executive director,
Say
I know what to
3 years
tell
ag-
them now.
3 years. Well, no.
I won't say names.
No, 3 years ago it would have been Eric. So
Yeah, which Eric's still around.
Eric's still around. They
But
can
if-
talk to him. Yeah.
I mean, if
on the
Robin
board.
comes in and says, I know Brent Davis, we'll say, yeah, he hasn't been the ED in at least, what,
No,
3
we'd
or
be like,
4?
yeah, you know Brent Davis.
Yeah, you do. That's right, Brent. That's right, Brent. We said it.
But you think about people misbehaving, right? And not.
Oh, they do all the time in theater.
And I remember because International Paper sponsored.
Where you're employed.
Sponsored, yes.
Full
Sponsored
disclosure.
Guys and Dolls last summer.
Absolutely.
And there was a show just for International Paper employees.
Correct.
Because we sponsored the show.
Yes.
And there were a couple people. I remember a couple people came in and were friends of the cast. And Brian was like, "Do you want me to kick them out? Because they're not part of this and they need to pay, or and this was a free show." And I looked at Brian and I said, "Absolutely not. I mean, if you got a chair and you're bringing someone into the family, the show's already paid for.
Well,
I'm not going to do that."
she's a
Because
nicer person
IP
than I.
are great corporate citizens. You should buy all your paper for IP and cardboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you need to look at every box that you make sure
Yeah,
we made
got
it
a
better.
shop up front where I go buy a ream of paper.
Demand your
Oh,
things
wait,
are
no.
shipped in IP boxes.
And
Thank
banana
you.
routes are burned.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
all that
you.
kind of stuff.
Can't talk about the banana box.
Awesome. Nobody's listening anyway. So now it's time to move on, and I mean that sincerely. It's time to move on to.
My mom will if I send her the link.
Well, I'll send you. Yeah, I'll send you the YouTube page link because she has many she can go back and listen to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll just.
Pour
Listen.
through all those on a Saturday with a
We got
box
like
of wine.
10 hours worth of content.
Yeah.
now.
So it's time for Christina's favorite feature. This is when you get to roll your eyes. This is Brian's wild and zany dad jokes of the day.
That's
Cue music.
right.
So
That's
you
right.
ready?
Ah,
Go ahead. Let's see
my
what she
music's going.
thinks.
My music's going. Okay.
Yes, it is.
I just realized that vampires don't exist in Africa. It's because they bless the rains down in Africa.
I don't think Robin thought it was funny.
I mean, Toto? I love Toto.
Well, but did you like the joke?
No, not at all.
Then you're filling Christina's role perfectly.
All right.
She usually
next.
makes a very loud,
Yeah.
and says something about "Kill me now, God." So-
I have secretly converted to Norse paganism.
Nice.
I'm trying to keep it low key.
That's very
wah,
good.
wah, wah.
That's very
Don't
good.
encourage him, okay?
That one's good.
Do you have one more? You want to throw?
Yeah.
Since she's not here, we
I
can.
can do this all day.
Yeah. How about one more?
But my thing is with riddles or like jokes like that, can we give a minute to guess? But
sure.
so go ahead.
Oh
okay,
well,
so,
we'll leave you time to guess. I'm
yeah.
not
Okay.
gonna
So
guess.
now, set it up, and then we see what.
I'll
it is.
have to tell you this one off the air.
Okay.
You can tell her the movie one that was funny.
Oh well, no.
We've
We
already
did-
said it
I
once.
know, but it's already on the thing.
Nobody's
I'm trying to find a
listening.
good one. Let me see.
If you are listening to this, like, if the apocalypse has happened and you find
Oh,
this
here's a good
somewhere-
one. Here's a good one.
Yeah,
It's
you heard it.
topical.
Heard it.
Leave it to men to procrastinate. 3 days later, and we're still waiting on mail ballots.
Did you see the theater graphic joke, which was there was a tree went around on social media. There was a tree with these two, vagabonds looking up in the state of Nevada, and it was Waiting for Godot. It was a picture of the Waiting for Godot cast.
Nice.
Looking up in the tree, like they look in, typical staging of that show, and it had just the big state of Nevada.
Nice. Perfect. Yes.
Do you want one you can guess?
Yeah.
Why does Dwayne Johnson stand as close to the wall as possible?
Hang on. Why does Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson stand as close to the wall
I think we're going to run out of music here.
as possible? So he can get his rocks off?
He hates putting anyone between a rock and a hard place.
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
wow.
That's awesome.
And by awesome, we don't mean awesome.
Yeah.
Christina definitely would not think that's awesome. So I'm going to play this segment back for her and see what her reaction is. So, all right. So now we move on to the final segment, which is closing rants.
Well, she didn't do
Sponsored-
her racist,
But just, you have one?
showboat casting call.
So,
It's got to be quick because I got to go soon.
no, I'll come back and talk about that.
Yes,
you know,
please do.
I'll come back and talk
It was
about
an
a few
excuse to get her back.
memories.
Please come back. Yes.
I would
We
love
whetted
to.
her appetite to be on the podcast. And now she'll be back.
Yay.
This has actually been very stimulating.
Yeah, see? Better than talking about fruits and fires and things like that, maybe.
And fiber.
And fiber. And,
Trim.
Fruit and
not
fiber,
liking
wasn't-
the texture of certain
Wasn't that a
fruits.
cereal? Fruit and fiber?
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Or I think it was a yogurt.
We should do a cereal bracket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything with Special K.
Did IP
Well, Count
make
Chocula
fruit and
is
fiber
looking over your
cereal?
shoulder.
Because that's kind of what it tasted like.
No, but I did. Slim Fast Shakes.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
winter. Slim Fast Shakes actually have something in it called cellulose. It's a binding agent.
Yeah.
It's pretty much wood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yummy.
I'm not going to. There's so much joke
We don't make
material
that
there.
at International Paper.
There, I mean,
I know. I was setting it up for you. You didn't walk through the door.
I feel like I could just go on for hours, and it would all be directed at him.
True.
So,
yeah.
okay,
I got it.
True statement.
So, closing rant sponsored by Jimmy the Cock,
Hey, Jimmy.
off of the set of Bluff City Law. So,
Yeah.
Robin, do you have a rant about anything positive or negative? You have 1 minute. Go.
Come back to me.
Okay. She passes. Brian,
I didn't pass.
you don't have to have a rant. It's okay.
Um,
What's your rant today?
I don't really have a rant today.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. Do you have anything?
I'm thankful for the arts, and I really, really, truly want people to come back after this damn COVID.
Yes.
Yes. I will join that rant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Echo that rant. I have a very short rant. It's about if you run a business that supplies people with, I'll say, drinks that go beyond cola, something of that nature,
Yeah?
you don't have to try to rope people into buying the crap. Okay? Just say, here's the plan. If you buy enough crap, we're gonna let you buy some better stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Oh,
you're
I
gonna
know what
do
you're
all
talking about.
that, why don't you just let us pick instead of saying, "Hey, here's the top tier, here's the fifth tier." So I'm not trying to alienate. I'm just trying to say, just come right out and say, don't call it a, "Hey, we've got a great new one for you." Just
Just say,
say,
hey, it's
"We
an A, B,
know,
C, D player.
we know half of what we're gonna put out is not stuff you would normally want."
Don't you do that in a show? I mean, don't you do when you mount a season?
Well, not here at GCT. Other theaters do it all the time.
Right.
When we put out our season, especially season 50, which is a hell of a season, I might add,
I agree with that.
put together by a sterling programming committee and the ED here at the theater.
Yeah, of which I
you
am a
don't
part
put
of.
crap on that
Not.
schedule. There's no
Um,
filler in that taco.
Yeah, but my thing is, what we don't know, and this is where it gets a little bit a conspiracy, is sometimes they're getting some sort of kickback.
I'm sure they
when they
are.
sell you that
Yeah.
brand new lemon flavored whiskey. That
Peanut
is a
butter or
C
something.
level. Maybe someone
Yeah.
gets a
Pickle whiskey.
free Cosby sweater if they sell the first case of it.
Well,
you know?
and that's fine if that's what you're doing. Just say you're doing it instead of trying to market it to the people who drink that stuff all the time and be like, "Oh, it's a great new one. You're gonna
know.
love it. It's tremendous, tremendous." And we know we're gonna drink it, and it's not tremendous.
Right.
Especially if you've already sold it once before and now you're selling it again.
You're just honest, and that sucks
Yes.
sometimes.
That's my rant. So we thank you for joining us today. Thank you to Robin for joining us.
Yes, come back,
fun.
please.
Yes, and
It could be 2 against 2.
Robin's
Me and
mom,
Christina.
thank you for listening all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So we
Thanks,
appreciate
Mom.
it. Listen to some other ones, or at least listen to the first 10 seconds so it looks like we got some more views.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and we're out.